Good evening, Free Enterprise runners, and welcome to tonight's latest round of the round of 16 of the Adamant Cup, featuring match 2 between Gail Swift and Simbu. My name is Esgrunt. We are joined behind the scenes today by Black Ice, who is doing his very first restream, so please give him a warm welcome. Ground Flyer pushing the buttons, and I am joined today in the comms booth by Xenocat. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing quite well, Esgrunt. Happy to be here. In the comms booth, and oh, I found Waldo.
Well, we can hope that finding the key items that our runners are looking for will be a little bit more difficult than that, because it wouldn't be much of a race otherwise. So we've got, let's see, an Edwards start for this race. Probably not who we were hoping to find there, but if we do find a spoon sooner or later, it might be worth someone keeping around. We've got a set of objectives pretty evenly distributed between the moon and the blue planet. 6 key items in total, if I'm not mistaken, are needed to complete this set.
Yep, just 6 key items, 3 moon altars is really spicy, I think. That's a lot more than usual. Usually you get 1 or 2, but finding 3 is... I mean, I don't hate it. It's gonna tell me to go to the moon and go clear those altars soon.
Well, we do find a lot of the time in these flag sets that you need to be spending some time on the moon anyway, and we are looking at least 2 of the 3 most common moon checks when people are desperately hunting down those last few key items. The Ribbon Room, of course, giving 2 key items. The Murasame altar being one of the altars you can check at the top of the moon. Fairly easy access, fairly easy to get to early on, something you can do quickly.
Yeah. Crystal Sword Altar is a little bit out of the way, but I mean, it means that you're not going to fade it, so I may as well commit to a full top-down, do Murasame, Crystal Sword, and then into Ribbon Room, and then, maybe you don't want to do White Spear or Masa Altar.
Yeah. But outside of moon objectives, we've got Baron Castle, 2 bosses, 1 key item. Also opens up the Odin basement check if you're inclined to look for another key item. Sand Ruby, which gets you a character. Burn Miss Village with a package, which also gets you a character at the expense of a very long cutscene. And the Rat Tail, which requires both the hook and the rat tail in order to turn, and will get you another key item in turn.
Yeah, it's an interesting set of objectives. Needing 2 terminal key items, I think, is always really interesting. And then, of course, we need those 3 other key items that aren't really terminal, but, I mean, I feel like the hook almost counts as a terminal key item, in a way, because it's useless. It doesn't lead to anything other than underground access, potentially, without the rat tail. But it does look like our runners might be off.
Yeah, and here we go. Now that is not exactly a power start, is it?
That is, well, we're gonna be really hoping we find someone good on Mount Hobbs, because that is certainly a starting pair of characters.
Well, to be fair, Tella, once you're through Mount Ordeals, Tella is a very powerful utility character, especially in the absence of Kasoya in this set of flags.
Yeah, but I mean, I like someone who can do damage.
You don't want to instantly clear some of the free encounters. Tella can give you a stone cast for that, right?
Technically, yes, sure. We do see Simbu heading to check the bedward right away as Gail Swift is headed into Watery Pass to get some loot, maybe looking for some J items to bail him out of some of these early bosses.
Yeah, that's a Legend Sword. That's not one of the key items we're looking for, but it is a key item. I do like the Watery Pass, but that's a Cursed Ring in Watery Pass.
I mean, that's really nice. Just not right now.
It will come in handy eventually. But given that Tella starts with the exit spell, it makes sense to go into somewhere which will take a little bit to finish navigating through, and just use exit once you're done looting to your heart's content, just to get right back out of there.
Yep, we now have 2 silent staffs for Gail Swift, and it looks like Edward rolled really well on the starting bow and arrow combo. Got the best possible bow and arrows that he can start with, which is still not great, but he might be sort of functional, maybe.
So what we're saying is the bow and arrow is the most important member of this party at the moment.
Yes, the archer bow and the charm arrows are the most important members of the party.
Well, there's certainly worse things you could start with. Gail Swift electing to loot the downstream treasure right here, exiting out. This makes sense. Gail Swift is presumably going to launch the hovercraft while here, because we do need that to turn into the rat tail eventually.
Yep, may as well do it now, since it'll just knock it out of the way so you don't have to worry about doing it later. I don't hate this play at all.
Alright, Simbu done looking for items in Troya. Presumably also going to head over to Dwarf Castle. Oh no, Simbu also electing to loot Watery Pass, is also going to pick up that curse ring at the very least. We did see Gail Swift only loot the front half of Watery Pass. It'll be interesting to see if Simbu chooses to do the same or not.
Yeah, Simbu may decide with Tela to go loot the whole thing. I definitely have been rewarded by deciding to loot the whole thing with Tela in even these previous seeds that I've played on this flag set.
Oh yeah, it will take a little bit, but especially with some of the more valuable, more chest-dense locations, not necessarily being as lucrative with T-Pro being turned on, this can pay off in a big way if you're persistently looting through it. It does look like Simbu is going to continue to loot through Watery Pass, so we'll see if anything else interesting turns up from this.
Yeah, sometimes you get the goods in here, and sometimes it's a Gaiadrum, which is nice, but not necessarily amazing.
Well, it's early enough that Gaiadrum will still make a difference at some point.
Oh, definitely. It's not terrible, it's just not amazing. Same with that Dancing Dagger. Not terrible, but also not, like definitely happy to see it, but not what you were hoping for from this Watery Pass play.
Yeah, I mean, with this starting party, that Dancing Dagger can also be an important member of the party, so to speak. I think the bow and arrow that we've already got will more than adequately serve in that
how about the second curse ring?
Yeah.
Now we can have 2 anchors. Oh, and Gail Swift found a place where you can buy more curse rings.
This seed is extremely cursed. Well done, Black Ice.
Yes. It's so cursed. I think we should get cursed rings for everyone.
Alright, here's the last room of Watery Pass. There's another Dancing Dagger.
Edward, learn how to dual wield Dancing Daggers, please.
we can get an entire team of Edwards.
That was largely a bust in that back of Watery Pass. I mean, there's money there, sure, and the Dancing Dagger isn't the worst, and I guess the Gaiadrum is fine, but...
And we can at least sell that other curse ring for a little bit of money if we need it.
Yeah, but still not the value you were hoping for.
Yeah. Simbu into Dwarf Castle, electing not to live, just going to launch the hovercraft. Gail Swift heading up to Hobbs to get us our first character check of the seed.
Yep, probably hoping that he can find a character that is a little bit better than Edward or Tala.
Well, as they are right now, they've at least let us do a little bit of looting.
That is not the character you want to see. That is the exact opposite of the character you want to see.
What a cursed start this is.
We found Yang. Yang needs levels to do damage.
Yang pointing at Yang.
Yang has no levels right now.
Well, at least we found Yang early enough that we can get the levels if we need to.
This is true. Yang is actually quite good once you get him the levels.
Yeah, there have certainly been cases when I found a Yang here and taken him all the way through to the end of the seed.
Oh, absolutely. Normally I wouldn't hate to find a Yang early on. But that's contingent on also having other characters who can do damage.
Okay, so that was a longsword from that first chest in Ordeals. We're going to have a very finely honed edge, if we can find one. We've got the full moon from earlier as well, of course.
Yep. There was a Lilith Rod on the back of Mount Hobbs, so
Yep.
Tella can steal MP from neither of our other two characters because none of them have MP.
Well, they just need to give them MP in that case.
Yeah, no, just get Soma drops. Give Edward MP. Give Yang MP.
Give Kane MP when we find him.
Yeah. Oh yes, this is the most efficient use of your Soma drops.
Yes. Okay, we've got Gail Swift going into... Well, actually, both Gail Swift and Simbu are now headed into Antlion Cave. Simbu electing not to have looted the back of Hobbs. Is doing some looting here in Antlion, probably just opening the most easily accessible chest, skipping the two at the side.
Yep, just a few accessible chests. Not getting anything great here, but it's Antlion Cave. It's not very highly weighted.
Yeah. And Simbu just heading directly to the boss, having opened those handful of chests. Looks like Gail Swift will be following along in just a moment. Our boss here today is the Dark Imps.
Well, I mean, one J item will sweep through this fight, so we can get through this fight quickly.
Yeah, it's still a little bit disappointing to find a relatively free boss in this spot. There's the Guider coming out, of course.
I mean, I'd be disappointed, I think, if we had a stronger party, but with this party, I'm not too disappointed. I'm okay with this.
That's fair. Because you can see that Lit Bolt having come out on Gail Swift's size does not take down any of the Dark Imps. That's the Baron Key. That is a very good find, as that is required.
Yeah, that is required. How soon we get to actually do it is another story, but...
Yeah, because this party is nowhere near powerful enough to even attempt to take those chests right now.
You know, if we don't get a, character gating key item out of the Bool defense, we're gonna have to probably do Baron in with this party.
Yeah. Which makes me wonder if we'll see whoever gets there first take Ordeals first, just to get Tella in a state where he can actually fight through that adequately. That's going to depend on the bosses we see in Baron in, I think. I
mean, you don't need Tella spells to get through Baron in.
They certainly help a lot, but it is true you don't necessarily need the Tella to be powered up in order to get through that.
Yeah. Blink is fine. Just abuse Blink. Blink is the best spell in the game.
Here's Mylon Z attacking Dwarf Castle. Simbu having found a Cure 3 somewhere to use on this fight. That's good. You see Gail Swift has that same Cure 3.
Ooh, Gail Swift picked up a Fire Claw from the weapon shop. That's immediately going to pay off.
Yes. Alright, so we through the fight. Will now give us a key item. What will it be today? Well, I guess technically speaking, this is just a check. It's not necessarily going to be a key item, but
we can get underground now.
Yeah, we unironically can get underground now.
Yeah, no, we can actually get underground now. That's good. We like that. I guess if there's sirens underground, we can buy a bunch of those and then kill a bunch of eggs and... Oh god, this is a terrible party for eggs.
With this party, no. No one's going to do that right now. Soma drops are favorable.
You mean you don't like doing 30 sirens in a dream with Tella, Yang, and Edward?
Come on, I at least want to get a fourth character before I do that.
Shh, your fourth character is your anchor.
That's fair. But I at least want to see who the fourth character is going to be before I do that. How about that?
Yeah. No, yeah. Also, I'm very against 30 sirens in a dream, in case it wasn't clear that that's a joke.
Especially with this objective set, you're going to be doing enough of them known that you're going to be getting your experience anyway.
Yeah.
Simbu is in Silvera picking up some of the free items, maybe looking to look in the shop for something. Just finds illusions and whistles, and we don't need either of those. I believe Simbu sold a whistle earlier even.
Yep, whistles are best used to be converted into money.
Yep.
Unless you really like that big Chocobo song. Or just the whistle song.
Well, we certainly have fans of both of those at this point. Simbu heading back to Baron. It looks like Gail Swift is going underground immediately.
Yep, Gail Swift is gearing up to check some freebies, which is not a bad play. Maybe gets another key item that lets him get through stuff more easily.
Yeah, and that is Sid in Baron Inn, guarded by, I believe that was Baigen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that is a kind of nasty Baigen fight, and
oh yeah,
Sid's great. He really can trivialize a lot of the overworld, but we're already like mostly done with the overworld by the time we get that Sid, and Sid's not going to be that good for that long.
Noting there's a Thunderclaw in Baron.
Yeah, that Thunderclaw will be very nice for Simbu.
Oh yes, and Simbu, having checked the Baron items, is now also preparing to head underground.
I think decided that fighting Baigen was not worth it. Which, yeah, that's fair. Baigen is kind of disgusting.
I mean, we'll probably have to come back there at some point just for the key item check.
Of course, but we'll come back there later when we're ready to just sweep through Baron Inn and Baron Castle.
Yeah. Alright, Gail Swift at Dwarf Castle finds Bacchus Line in the item shop. That is a good find.
Also picking up some Door Rages,
yeah,
which is very nice safety. Because let me tell you about an experience I had recently with a certain Kenazo at a certain location with one Door Rage in my inventory. Yeah, you want a stack of 10 of those. They're
yes,
very helpful.
Yes, they are. Gail Swift leaving Dwarf Castle, it's not surprising. Not checking the bosses at the moment, it looks like. Heading over to Tomra to do some looting. It looks like Simbu is going to be doing roughly the same thing at this point.
Yep. I stand by the not checking the bosses spot play here, because you're probably not going to be able to beat them anyway.
Yeah.
Just elixirs in Tomra, that's unfortunate. Gail Swift, yes. Oh yes, Gail Swift. Check job dwarf. Please talk to the dwarf. That's the wrong dwarf.
I am a resource teacher.
Yay! Seed is valid.
Not much in the way of loot from Tomra, it looks like. Unless these shops have something. There's cat claws, and in the event that we choose to keep Young around.
Those are real expensive, though.
Yeah.
Real expensive for what they do, which is not actually that much.
Yeah. Alright, let's see where Gail Swift heads now. I guess it's Fey March.
Yeah, I would expect heading to the Fey March. Might decide to loot the way down, although not saving outside tells me that he is just heading right to the town.
Yeah.
I mean, our runners could get bailed out at any point by a spoon just showing up at a key item check.
Oh yes.
Because Spoon suddenly turns Edward from, oh, this really squishy character who can't do anything, to, oh, he's this really squishy character who can also hit for 2,000 damage.
Yeah, and then if you're so choose, you can put that Adamant later on and have a slightly less squishy character who can hit even harder than that. Speaking of cat claws...
Wow! Thanks, Fey March.
Thanks,
just what we needed. A free cat claw. Key items, no thank you. We want a cat claw.
Okay, not much interesting in the way of loot in these chests. I believe we're going to see Gail Swift check who the Fey March bosses are here in just a second.
Yeah, may as well peek them, and then, you know, if one of them is King Queen, you take that.
Yeah. One of them is not King Queen, but that is a Bahamut right there, who you could take at pretty much any point.
I'd be tempted to take that. That Bahamut is extremely free. All you have to do is slap a curse ring on someone, put a Star Veil on a character you care about when Bahamut says, like, 3, and then just sit there. And do not do anything.
Yeah, and then 2 or 3 Mega Nukes later, you've got a lot of experience on that one character.
It should only be 3 Mega Nukes at that spot, and the Star Veil will last long enough.
Yep.
The Star Veil actually lasts long enough. I've tested it for Bahamut at Levy. So Bahamut and Asura with more magic and less hit points definitely works.
Yeah. Alright, Gail Swift going into Sylph Cave to set up the Sheila 1 check.
Yep.
So, yeah, I expect we're going to see Gail Swift immediately leave the underground at this point because we're out of checks that we can do at this point and is going to go back possibly to check Sheila 1 right away, but might decide to take one of the other overground checks first.
Yeah, I think Gail Swift is keen on getting a character, or maybe looking to get telespells. Was thinking I'm gonna set up Sheila 1, but because it's just one check back in Fabula, let's go take care of Mount Ordeals. Get Tella powered up, because clearly Tella is going to be a fixture of this party.
Yeah, and you more or less need to fly by here on the way back to Fabula anyway.
Yeah, it's not terribly out of the way.
Alright, we do see Simbu looting in the Paymarch Cave on the way down. Doesn't seem to have turned up much of interest at this point. That's a rune axe and an elixir. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a few items here. It so far mostly has just been money, at least for this party. An extra Thor Rage.
And a poison claw if we want to keep Yang around.
I mean, Gail Swift already has a Poison Claw.
Yeah.
So, that extra Poison Claw doesn't really do much.
True.
Since you're never going to really go past Cat Claw, Poison Claw, or double Cat Claw. There's no reason to equip a Poison Claw over a Cat Claw.
Okay, Gail Swift heading into the first Ordeals boss. That is Leviathan.
Time to put that Thunderclaw to work.
Yep.
But also, this is like a
Speaking of
rude
Thunderclaws,
spot
there's
for
another
Leviathan. Like cheekily rude.
Yes.
This spot is generally fairly free, but it has magic power.
If we get to the point where those Ice 2s start coming out, which we almost certainly will, they're going to sting a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, not quite as bad as they would at back attack, but it's still not free by any means.
Yeah, that Thunderclaw is doing work here.
Yeah, Tella almost got knocked down.
Well done, Tella. Takes the hit, gets the lit one off to get the kill. Well done.
Yep. But yeah, that could have been... I mean, it would have been much worse at the other spot on the bridge, but the other spot on the bridge is much worse in general, so...
Great, Simbu about to find Bahamut here. I think, yeah, as we expect, Simbu is electing to take the Bahamut fight.
Yeah, this is a very fast fight. Bahamut will be RA1.
Oh, hi, Val. This is not who you want to see in this spot with this party.
Oh no, this is complete garbage. This is a completely awful fight. Yang might be able to punch through, but ooh.
Well, we'll find out. We'll see in a moment. Ooh, that no.
I mean,
no, you're not
you
getting
can get
through
through this. That dancing dagger's gonna do nothing, Gail Swift. I'm sorry.
I mean, technically, visual glitch.
Yep, it just kind of gets stuck in Val's tornado. I mean, that's how the tornado. That's how it works. The dancing dagger just gets stuck in the tornado.
I guess with Blink here, Val can't actually really do much to the party beyond the effects of the gradual petrification here.
Yeah, I mean, the gradual petrification is a threat. Let's not write that off.
Right. This is only going to take 9 of those to end this party, and I'm not quite sure that we're doing damage fast enough here to be able to get through it before we reach that point.
Yeah. Simbu did get through Bahamut at Asura and gets a heroine robe, so I think he may have invoked that with his naming scheme.
Yeah.
But it's not going to do you any good, Simbu. Not yet. None of these characters can equip that.
As much as they want to.
Yes, no, Eddie's not allowed to be a warrior princess.
I'm sure Eddie would look fabulous in a heroine robe, but unfortunately we're not running on the extras soon tonight. Someone can't see that.
No.
Simbu also heading down into Sylph Cave to set up the Sheila 1 check.
Yeah, might actually get to Sheila 1 before Gail Swift does at this rate.
Nice try, Eddie. I mean, this is doable at this rate, but it's not going to take quite some time.
Yeah, this is Eddie is not helping. Eddie's just not helping. I'm sorry.
Okay, Simbu is electing to do the Sheila 1 check immediately here.
Tella has run out of MP. This is fine.
I think now, given that Tella had some well-placed heals in, we are going to get through this, at least. Ooh, that's a party rock.
That, I mean, the treasury is real nice. But there is not that much gear that can save this party.
Yeah, what we need at this point is someone who can use a lot of the gear that we found already.
Yeah, and oh good. Gail Swift does have some heal pots, thank goodness, because those characters are starting to turn to stone. But Val is down.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yes, Gail Swift is now done with the hard fight on Ordeals. I don't care that the next fight is easy. Gail Swift, please save.
Please save Gail Swift.
Please
save.
save.
Have to go through that again.
Do not get surprised by Wyvern in the changing room.
Alright, it looks like Simbu is preparing to indulge in all of our viewers' favorite game show. Rate that treasury. Hello, inventory boss.
I rate it as double cat claw out of 10.
Yes. That's about the only useful thing we've got for this party.
There's a power shirt too, but yeah. Just all the cat claws.
Yes, welcome to the T-Pro treasury.
There were some other good weapons for some other characters, but they're not in our party, so we can ignore them.
Yeah.
I did miss what the item was on Mount Ordeals, but Gail Swift is going to commit to it for Tella.
Question for Chad, does that mean Gail Swift is way behind now? It's hard to tell at this point. We don't really know where any of the important key items are at this point. That having been said, we didn't get anything important from Ordeals, from the looks of it. We do have a powerful Tella, as a result of having done that, who may be able to make up some of the time invested in doing that fight later.
Yeah, at the very least, Tella now has access to a whole bunch of spells that for Gail Swift that Simbu won't have access to until he does Ordeals. And the Earth Crystal that Simbu has, Gail Swift can get really easily. Just has to zip on over to Fabul.
Which it would not be surprised if that's where we see Gail Swift heading immediately.
Now the question is, with the Earth Crystal, the Baron Key, and the Baron Inn now all providing characters, where do you go to make this party like actually functional as fast as possible?
Looks like the answer is Baron Inn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially with that, as I was saying earlier, with that telepower in hand, this getting through this will be somewhat simpler then. It's still going to be not nice with the rest of this party composition, but it's a little bit more tractable at this point. We do see Simbu going in here without having done the heal, so we'll get to see how much of a difference that actually makes here. Simbu just pulls out a Zeus Rage to end the fight immediately.
Gail Swift taking advantage of Young's kick ability to knock out the arms, and then finishes Vigan off with a dancing dagger.
Alright, and we've got DJ Mylon's Electric Dance Party as the second boss here. Simbu pulls out a Firebomb to take out the Ghasts.
Oh yes, Grimoire, go Grimoire! Dang it, it's just Indra.
Which is...
It does take out the gas.
Yeah, at the very least, just as effective at taking out the gas. And we see the dancing dagger come out here.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Edward is taking a nap.
So we're looking to put Edward to wake Edward up from his nap. There's an oh my body. So we've now got a Sid in the party, and we're going to pick up another key item check here, the Adamant. So we can forge now if we so choose.
I mean, the 10% chance that that's an Adamant armor.
Yes, yes.
That feels like it's maybe worth it.
Well, there's certainly some other things that should be as well that might eventually turn out to be handy.
Yeah, I mean, a white shirt is technically useful now.
Alright, we've got Simbu turning in the Baron Key and heading into Baron Castle.
Yep, I mean, you're right here. May as well just go dive into Baron Castle and start clearing it.
Looks to pick the 3 chests on the way. That Ashura will solve for a little bit at least.
Yeah, hopefully Gail Swift does remember that he has to turn in Sheila 1.
Alright, Gail Swift electing to check the Baron shops. This is... that's not much of the way
Yeah,
of this.
there is nothing useful in those shops.
Yeah, like the only thing that would be even remotely interesting there, I think, with this flex, it would be the tiaras, and even then I wouldn't go out of my way to buy one of those, I don't think.
No, they're too expensive, and
Exactly.
honestly, who's gonna use a tiara? Like,
With this
Rydia?
party, no one right now.
Yeah, we haven't seen that character yet. Interesting, setting up the curse ring Sid for Baron Castle.
Yeah.
I would not be using a cursed anchor for this first fight, but
No, but
though I guess it is a blue robe, and Tella might be able to do some sweeping. Because, oh boy, we found Senator Crocodile.
in this, if I remember correctly, in this spot, it's not just Senator Crocodile; it's the entire Crocodile Senate.
Oh yeah. Well, of course. Senator Crocodile never shows up without his friends
Exactly.
and co-workers.
Alright, Gail Swift following right behind here. I do think we'll see Gail Swift able to get through these fights significantly faster, leveraging Tella's newfound spells here. We shall see soon enough.
Yeah, I mean, Simbu can get through these crocodile fights pretty quickly with Young and Eddie punching, but Gail Swift does have the advantage of having access to that virus.
Yeah.
Though only has 4 casts of it, so has to be a little bit careful with it.
Yeah. While our runners churn through this whole thought, this is an excellent time to shout out both of our runners, give them a follow, both putting some excellent skill on display here, as well as our restreamer, Black Ice, our tracker, Groundflyer, and of course my co-commentator, Zenith Cat. Everyone very much worth giving a follow to here.
Shoutouts to you too, Escort.
And thank you.
For just being phenomenal to co-com with. Well, Simbu is almost done removing all of the aquatic creatures from the Baron Castle. I don't know why the sewer monsters have decided to take up residence in the castle itself.
Well, the sewer is backing up, of course, that's all.
Ah, must be it.
Congratulations, we are the plumbers, we are the cleanup crew. Someone has just slain the last of the Crocodile Senate in this fight.
Yep. Just Senator Aquaworm left. It doesn't have the same ring to it. I'm sorry.
No. Representative Aquaworm?
I don't know.
We'll figure something out. Anyway, Simbu is now through the alt doglet here, and in just a moment we'll be looking at seeing who's taken over the Baron throne today.
The fake King of Baron is actually the King of Eblin.
So that's how it is. Evelyn has
Yes.
secretly taken over. Which makes sense for Initiative Ninjas.
Eblin secretly invaded Baron and took over with all of their fish.
So Simbu electing to power through this fight, of course. Queen Evelyn is normally a free fight. Once 3 fire 2s go off, triggers a script, which eventually just kills both of them. But these party members can hit hard enough by now to just deplete that. So we're going to see both a character check here, which is very important at this point, as well as a key item check, as well as an objective. That is Porum.
I mean, she's a white mage.
You do have a heroine robe to go with Porum, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Simbu does have a heroine robe. So, Simbu is probably very happy to see that for him. Gail Swift might be less so.
Yeah, goodbye Tala. I suspect that makes that Ordeals check a lot less likely on Simbu's end.
Yeah, which is fortunate for him because I believe that Ordeals was nothing.
Ordeals was nothing, except for Telepower, which is not relevant at this point.
Yeah, so he might be able to continue fading Ordeals. Especially since that was quite nasty for Gail Swift.
That is a pass. That is very nice find for a required objective.
Yep, no progression, but we're happy to see it.
Okay, Simbu is, to our dismay, heading to Ordeals after all.
Oh dear. Simbu.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
I have a suspicion that Simbu is going to see the Val fight and will just nope out of this.
Yeah, might push through the Val fight and then realize that he pushed through it for
no reason.
Yeah.
In the case, Gail Swift is now also in the King Queen Eblin fight and is just a cutscene away from picking up that pass for himself as well as the objective.
Nice tech by Gail Swift using the Maid Kiss in battle just to get rid of it. It's taking up a valuable inventory slot.
Yeah.
Also, there's a diet food. Get rid of that. We don't need a diet food. We're quite comfortable with our weight, thank you very much.
Lots of collective dancing dagger at this point. Simbu now through that Leviathan fight. We'll get surprise Val in just a couple of moments. Well, save first as well, of course. Always be saving.
Yes, save early, save often.
Because for all Simbu knows, this could be Blarg waiting here. But no, it's just Val. You're not seeing the immediate reset here. I think Simbu is intent on taking this fight as well. We do have the Sid here who might make a significant difference in the amount of time that it takes to get through this.
I think the levels on Yang are also going to make a difference, but it does look like, yeah, Simbu has decided that's not worth the time.
That moment of hesitation, maybe looking at how doable that fight is in some of the data tables, and deciding, no, this isn't worth it.
And we have party divergence. Gail Swift has ditched Edward.
Goodbye, Edward.
This means the next unknown check that we do will be the spoon.
Yep.
That Gail Swift does, specifically.
Alright, Simbu has landed at Dwarf Castle and looks to be intent to take the bosses this time, doing some setup and saving, landing back in. Our first peek at Dwarf bosses, and that's a Lunar Sparkle. Which I believe is our first Lunar Sparkle.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a Lunar Sparkle yet this seed, so... Gail Swift headed down to the basement. I'm not sure what he could beat down here with King Queen Evelyn off the table.
possibly just looking to see who the boss is, and especially if it's a free boss of some sort.
Yeah, I suppose a water hag wouldn't be the worst. Oh, it's Blarg.
Hello, Wyvern. Hello, Blarg. Getting the Star Veil off in time to make this fight doable. Getting 2 Star Veils off. Exactly 2 Star Veils. So this fight is over.
Yep. And that is not a pleasant fight in the Baron basement. There are some orbs down there.
Yeah, and that's not a pleasant fight in many spots.
The real king of Baron was actually a computer all along.
Feels like some sort of meta commentary. The entire world is run by a console.
Yeah.
Alright, that's Odin in the second boss spot. We do have... That was Porum?
Yep, that was a duplicate Porum. You know, just in case you thought we would give you a good character. No.
But we do have Thunderclaws here, and Odin only having a relatively small amount of hit points here is not going to last very long.
Yep, Gail Swift finally turning in Sheila 1 to get the Earth Crystal. We'll see if he decides to go to Treasury, or maybe even decides to just go run up the Tower of Zot. There's 2 character checks up there. Something like an Edge or even a Kane at this point. Palom, all would be really nice.
Yeah. I guess I'm checking the weapon shop for some reason. Maybe just looking to sell some things. Yeah, this would suggest to me that Gail Swift is intent on looting the treasury.
Yeah, knows that his inventory is pretty full, so is going to clear out a bunch of the less useful items in it in advance of looting that treasury, just to try to avoid the inventory boss.
Yeah, that looked like an almost completely full inventory.
Oh, also buying mute arrows. That's understandable.
Yeah. Alright, our Dwarf Castle reward today is... a Sand Ruby.
That is required. And also another character.
Yep. Right, and here's Gail Swift heading into the treasure for the second time this scene. Alright, it looks like Simbu, understandably under the circumstances, is going to turn into Sand Ruby right away. So, with any luck, this will be someone who can add a little bit of power to this party.
Yeah, hopefully. That's a Kane.
We certainly have lots of... Yeah, we have a lot of equipment for Kane at this point.
I don't think we've seen anything better than a Gungnir. We've seen a lot of Gungnirs.
Yeah,
but nothing better yet. Although, I mean, Kane is still an upgrade over Edward.
Yeah, and Kane can wield those rune axes that we've been finding.
Or you could just give him one of the, 3 Gungnir spears.
Well, I'm sure both will find use here. Gail Swift is heading up into the Tower of Zot here. Looks like he will be looking for the Flame Dog chest.
I really like this, cheeky Flame Dog play, honestly.
Yeah.
Just, grab the Flame Dog chest. Why not? It's so easy. It's so fast.
Interesting. We see Simbu returning to trial, probably also heading up to Zot at this point. And that's the first chest we open is the Flame Dog chest.
Yep, easy one-shot with that Ice Claw. Gets Porum a couple levels too. And that's just a Samurai Bow. Not super exciting.
Yeah.
So now Simbu is just barely behind Gail Swift down actually completing Ordeals, which we know is not required, but is up the entire Dwarf Castle check.
Yep.
Which we know is hard required, and Gail Swift will have to do at some point.
This does have a good chance of providing some form of progression, given the number of tricks that we have left. But I almost think at this point that it's going to be more important to see who the characters here are.
Yeah, I think the characters are the real value at this location, and Yeah, looks like Gail Swift is reevaluating on Sid, setting him up to do more damage. Don't necessarily agree with putting Tella in the middle, but...
Well, depending on who this boss is. That's Turtle. There's certainly worse spots we can find Turtle in right now, especially with those Thunder Claws in hand.
Yeah, this is still kind of a rough boss, I think, for Gail Swift with a slow anchor at this spot, because this spot is so slow. It's so slow. Your party is going to be base level Kane is running laps around this spot.
Yeah.
Yang with levels, absolutely going to just run all the laps around this spot. This spot also has a decent amount of hit points for how early it is. It's 9,000 total hit points. So those waves are not insignificant and might actually do some serious damage to Porum. So overall, I really like the fast anchor play from Simbu here.
Yeah. We do have Gail Swift pulling up that stack of Thor Rages, though. Simbu's still going to get through this fight much faster than Gail Swift is, just due to that anchoring difference.
Yeah, the anchoring and also just the extra levels on that Yang from taking that Bahamut fight in the Fame March, which was completely free. Another check that Simbu is up. Do your free Fame March fights, folks.
Yep. Alright, Simbu is through that fight. We're going to go look at our characters in a moment. That is a Rydia. I think we're past the point where Rydia will pick up here, unless you want an anchor of some sort, but we've already got that.
I think we're leaning towards a more Zerker-based party at this point than a mage-based party. Yang and Kane could function quite well as our Zerkers, or we could just do 2 Yangs.
Speaking of Yang,
we have 3 Cat Claws. I feel like the seed is telling you to run double Yang.
I don't think Simbu will take Yang, no.
No. That's kind of unfortunate. We have 3 Cat Claws. Yang is a really good Zerker when you grind him up. I wouldn't have ditched Kane for him, but I would have considered ditching the Sid.
And here's Pale Dim. Pale Dim can at least punch out that Kane, but I don't think Pale Dim is going to last terribly long with this party.
Yeah, Pale Dim is pretty punchy, but that Yang is also very punchy.
Yeah. Real fist fight, if you will. So we're electing to pull out those slows to delay some of the Pale Dim punches.
Yep, may as well slow... Pale Dim's just gonna slow you down, may as well slow Pale Dim down in retaliation.
Exactly. Slows for everyone.
Yes, everyone shall be slow.
Yeah, Pale Dim is actually not hitting Yang for that much at this point. But Pale Dim is down anyway, so it's not going to make much more of a difference anyway.
Yep. Gail Swift did consider ditching that Sid for Yang, but decides that no, is happy with the party as is for now.
Alright, so Simbu through this fight, we will see a key item pick up in just a moment, and we'll also find ourselves right outside Baron, which of course is already done at this point.
Yep, Simbu might decide to peek the basement, although I think it's unlikely.
Yeah. Where we go next is going to depend on what this item is, if anything.
Yeah.
Which is nothing.
That's just a Leviathan summon, which of course we get that after ditching Rydia. But also this means that our progression is, I believe, either through Kiwa's Tower or that Octomommet Leviathan.
Yep. So, what will Simbu do here? I guess...
Or Baron Basement. Right.
Yeah, I was about to say, given that choice, it is possible Simbu checks Baron Basement here.
Yeah, Baron Basement is also potentially an option, although And it looks like that's what he is checking, although I'm not sure if Simbu will commit to orbs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right here already. I don't know if Simbu is going to feel comfortable attempting orbs at this point. With Porum in hand, it's probably something you can struggle through, but it's going to be one of those things like valid back attack, which is going to take a tremendous amount of time. With, with the party in this state.
Orbs are free, but that with a big asterisk of they will take forever. But you can do them very safely.
And it does look like Simbu is electing to take this fight right now. Yeah, one of the interesting things about this fight in this flag set is because back row glitch is off, you are going to have a hard time hitting that CPU in the back row.
Yeah, Kane's jump ability will be able to handle that a little bit, hopefully, but other than Kane's jumping, it's going to be real rough.
Yeah, we're gonna see both Yang and Sid here dealing less damage against the big orb than they might otherwise be able to do. Alright, Gail Swift is through, has found that Zonk. We'll see where Gail Swift goes from there. We know Gail Swift knows what's on the basement throne already, and is probably not keen on taking that fight either.
Yeah,
so...
I don't think Gail Swift is eager to take CPU, especially knowing that there is a relatively free boss in the Fame Arch that has not been checked, and Gail Swift has not done Dwarf Castle yet, so we'll probably be headed there first.
Yeah, that looks like it's happening. I imagine once Gail Swift is through this, we'll probably go and turn in the Sand Ruby, possibly picking up that Cane, and is likely to head back to take that free boss in the Fame March afterwards, in my view.
Yeah, we'll see. I'd say either that or Akila's tower play is what I would expect from Gail Swift.
Yeah.
I don't think Baron Basement is in the cards for any time soon.
Yeah. Like having gone down there and checked that already, we would have seen Gail Swift go back to that already if he felt comfortable taking that fight, which he obviously doesn't. We do. I know that Simbu has put a bow on Sid to be able to do that back row damage to CPU here. Still going to be a fight that takes a while, unlike this Wyvern fight.
Yeah, although only Porum surviving that Wyvern is a little bit rough.
Because, yeah, Porum is not the character you want to have standing when faced with an Odin.
No, she's a little squishy.
There's not unreasonable chance that we're going to see the wipe here. It's going to depend on how quickly Gail Swift can get someone else up. No,
Nope,
there's the wipe.
No, yeah, no. This is another place where that slow anchor is not helping.
Yep.
With that slow anchor in the middle, you're getting like you can get one Star Veil off, but with a fast anchor, you can easily outspeed Wyvern with multiple characters here.
Yeah.
Maybe actually not multiple characters because Porum and Sid are slow. So Yang is probably still the only one who gets the Star Veil, but at least now Gail Swift is able to set up for Yang to just kind of carry his way through Dwarf Castle.
Ooh, Simbu hit the attacker. That's a big orb by itself. It's looking to Berserk Kane at this point, and Yang.
Yeah, just trying to get as much damage as possible in before these Build 199s come out, and goodbye Porum.
If we don't get through this in time, we are going to see the other orbs come back, and we're going to see a lot of progress on that. But no, that is big orb down.
Yep, Simbu now through the CPU fight. We'll see what the reward from this check is.
A tower key.
That is interesting.
That is very interesting. I think this makes Simbu's next logical play very obvious.
Yeah, you absolutely chase this.
Yes.
This versus Octoman, like, doing the full tower, I think beats out Octomammoth Leviathan.
Yes. So we're going to see Simbu here in just a second head down to the tower and take both of those checks now that Keyless Tower is no longer on the table.
Yep. Meanwhile, Galeswift does get through Dwarf Castle, so we'll secure his Sand Ruby, and that second objective potentially.
This is interesting. Simbu is looking to forge.
I don't hate it. We have characters that can actually benefit from this now. Kane could use an Avenger or a Dragoon Lance.
Yep.
We know where Rydia is if we get Bahamut. I really don't hate this play. Plus, 10% Adamant.
Yep.
Or you could get a Crystal Sword.
7.9 Sirens. That's a Masamune. So now we're really hoping we're going to find an end at some point.
Yep. Coco has decided to be... That Edge is the de facto hero of the Seed.
Yeah, they show up in the forge selling ribbons and crystal rings, which Simbu likes to buy a couple of. There were also ornaments for those there.
Yeah, lots of really powerful gear in that Coco shop. And it looks like Gail Swift, now done with that, is headed over...
I think he also probably has the 1 or 2 sirens found in the loot at this point. Maybe even just 1?
Yep,
yeah.
Just 1 siren. Gonna go ahead and pop that now just to get a few extra levels. Which Simbu, I think, doesn't need to do because he took that early Bahamut fight, which really helped him out.
So this makes me wonder if Gail Swift is going to head back down into the Feymarch immediately after this. Almost certainly going to take the Bahamut fight, of course, but is possibly thinking that they might need to take the Octomammoth fight while he's down there as well, and is just trying to prepare a little for that.
Yeah, that could get really interesting, especially now that Porum has Blink. That Octomam fight is much more doable. And it could be an interesting way for Gail Swift to get progression, but no, Gail Swift is headed up to do Keyless Tower, which, depending on whether Super Cannon has value, could either be totally fine, could just get up to the top of tower, get value off the top of tower and leave and not have to do the Super Cannon ever. Or it could be pretty disastrous if the Super Cannon ends up having value and then it's just, oh, you wasted a bunch of time walking up the tower twice.
Yep. That's the risk you take with Keyless Tower. Alright, Simbu saving, about to hit the top of tower. Neither of the runners are likely to do any looting on the way up, which is sensible, I think. I don't think we've got... unless you're specifically looking to pull something from a crap chest that maybe King can use. These are guards of some sort at the top of the tower.
Yep, and we do find out that Antlion is not on the moon. Antlion, what are you doing?
Well,
how did you get here?
Obviously teleported down from the moon to the tower, just like the giant does, right?
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Alright, these are the Baron Guards. Simbu pulls out the Mute Bell to neutralize the obedient size counters.
And also slapping that Rune Axe on Kane so that Kane can do big damage.
Yep. Like you said, Kane can equip those Rune Axes.
He's also able to do work with that Elven Bow too.
Oh yeah. Gail Swift now entering this fight as well. That's a lot of damage. Thank you, Kane.
Yeah, Kane is very good with that Rune Axe.
Yeah. Alright, Gail Swift also remembering the Mute Bell, pulling it out for this. And, oh yes, we've got the Mute Arrows as well. No one to wield the Rune Axe on Gail Swift's side. Well, I guess
Sid could, but
Sid could, but we've got the bow in use instead.
Yeah, I'm not sure Gail Swift picked up that Rune Axe.
Yeah, I don't think so. Otherwise, we'd be seeing it come out now. Anyways, it was through the fight. Our reward today is the Pan.
Gail Swift also getting through the fight thanks to Tella with Stone.
Yep. Yeah, Gail Swift probably figuring...
Yeah, Gail Swift is going to walk this out and go chase this, I assume, immediately.
Yeah, Simbu, of course, is going to do the key check on the way back down the tower.
Yeah, if this tower key is nothing, this does give Gail Swift a chance to pull ahead a little bit. Though I think Simbu does still have the power advantage.
Here's the other guards.
It's just the tower of guards.
Yep. And
Is this where Baron sends all their soldiers to train?
It's a gigantic jail. That's what it is.
Ah, I see.
We have Antlion imprisoned in the upper half of the tower.
That makes sense. Yes, we can't let Antlions run loose.
Okay, Simbu's through that fight. It's of course that's one of the easiest boss spots in the game to get through, so maybe you're not hoping to find a relatively free fight there. It is going to be a little bit before we find out what that item is, though. Meanwhile, Gail Swift, of course, is taking that pan and turning it in immediately.
Yep, immediately diving down into the Sylvan Cave to go bonk Yang on the head, and then probably head right back to Bool to return the pan to Sheila.
Well, interestingly, Gail Swift hasn't turned in the Sand River yet. I wonder if we're going to see him do that sooner or later.
I would expect he does it once he goes back up to the overworld.
Yeah. Possibly, now, if you head back up to the overworld at this point, you're obviously heading to Fabul at some point to finish the hand checks.
Yep, and Gail Swift might actually just abandon the rest of the blue planet, which...
yeah, because that's a darkness crystal. But no, Gail Swift is...
That is... Oh boy, Simbu has found a twin harp. That could lead Simbu down an even further rabbit hole.
But Simbu is also going to be picking up this darkness crystal in just a second. Gail Swift, in the meantime, is heading down into that Fame Arch again. Presumably ready to take that free Bahamut.
Yep, probably feels ready to take both bosses, I think, at this point. With the Thunderclaw and Yang, we'll be able to zerk through Octomam pretty quickly.
Yep. There's the pen hit.
Which I think is a fairer decision considering we still have 3 key items to go mode.
Welcome, Raiders from Free Enterprise.
Yes, welcome, welcome. Do not spoil your race that you were just watching. You have joined us right here. Quick recap of the seed. Our runners have been clearing a lot of the overworld and underground checks after an early Magma key from Fabul. We started with Tella and Edward with Yang on Hobbs, so just an absolute power start. Have collected a few other characters, no Edge, notably no Palom yet. Nothing better than a Gungnir for Kane, who comes from the Sand Ruby.
He also does have Tella still, having suffered through a back attack Val on Ordeals in order to power up Tella and therefore make him worth keeping.
Yep, and all of Simbu's extra key items that he has over Gail Swift come from a chain behind CPU at Baron Basement. The Twin Harp has not been checked yet, and that is the end. It's Tower Key there. Tower Key leads to the Twin Harp. We don't know what's behind the Twin Harp. Simbu might decide to show us.
Okay.
But it looks like it's going to go turn in Sheila 2 first.
Yep. Alright, what has Sheila got for us today? I guess what does get through that Bahamut fight.
Yep, has now evened out that check.
That's the Luca key.
I mean, it's another chain item that we can go check easily.
Yeah. I think that's not particularly high on Simbu's list of things to check right now.
Well, I mean, we can save scum it, and there's no chain
true.
items left in the pool for Simbu.
This is also true.
So there's no way, there's no sort of, oh, I have to walk this out because it could be value. It's either value or it's not. Yeah. So I would be very tempted to go peek that real quick to see if it's a hook or a rat tail or a package.
Yeah, Simbu is at the very least electing to launch the big whale at this point. I imagine this might lead immediately to moon checks. But it is possible, of course, just to launch the whale and not follow up on it immediately.
I mean, we do have 3 moon objectives, and Simbu is past the 10 key item threshold at this point.
Yeah,
Gail Swift not being there as a result of not having picked up that tower key or that twin harp yet.
Yeah, which of course leads to the common refrain, do your objectives, of course meaning do your dating objectives or the objectives that result in key item checks, which all of those moon objectives do. So, quite possible that Simbu is electing to pursue that. And as we expected, Gail Swift is heading back down to take on Octomammoth in the Kingdom spot.
Yep, making sure not to leave any of this Fey March untouched.
Simbu doing a little bit of shopping before doing anything else. That does find some life pots in the Mysteria shop. Always worth picking up.
Yep, life pots are good.
Okay, and as I would expect, is heading up to the moon.
So Simbu going to be our first runner to head up to the moon.
So with the 3 objectives and knowing that we've already got 10 key items in play here, what would your first play be here on, in terms of checks at least?
Straight to the mirror altar. It's right there. It's the first check on the way down. I'm full top downing the LST. I'm skipping Cave Bahamut with these 3 objectives. I don't feel like I need to go to Cave Bahamut right away. I'm gonna go clear out the top of the moon. Try to get value as I work my way down through the Murasame altar, Crystal Sword altar, and then the ribbon room.
Right.
And then I reevaluate after the ribbon room and see if I want to chase things I've got from the moon, although there isn't much to chase for Simbu.
Yeah, because at this point we're looking for exactly 3 more key items, the hook and the rat tail, and the package.
Yep, and the only way to chase anything would be if the hook and the rat tail are both up here. And you get those, and then you chase those instead of looking for a package up here. Which is definitely a very fair decision.
Our moon character today is Edge. A real moon ninja. Okay, do you take Edge here, or...
I think without a dedicated grind, yeah. We still have a full moon ninja sword. Yes, we take this Edge.
And don't forget, Simbu has also done the Forge and has a Murasame for this Edge. Not Murasame, Masamune for this Edge, in fact. Simbu electing to go to the bottom first.
And oof, that's not what Gail Swift wanted to see behind that Octomam. Just a bandana.
Fey March is haunted today.
Yeah, not even the Fey March Freepy had anything. It was just a cat claw.
Yep. That's unfortunate. Really just it's the effect of putting Gail Swift further behind. We do see the Sand Ruby turn in on Gail Swift's side now. Which is an interesting choice of timing. Will we see Gail Swift elect to take this king at this point? Let's find out.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting that Simbu has decided to just go straight down the moon and not bother with the top of the moon. Especially with the Murasame altar being an objective.
Now, I can see an argument for, with 10 key items in hand, maybe you're thinking about taking the, especially the ribbon altar first, just to sort of bulk up a little bit, and just power through the rest of the checks as quickly as possible. But that's going to depend on this fight being doable right now.
Yeah, I don't like depending on necessarily the ribbon altar being the thing that I get my big grind on, because it has the most hit points of anything on the moon.
Yes.
The Murasame altar is significantly squishier, at the very least.
But that is exactly what Simbu is doing.
It's on the way down. It's still worth 118,000 experience.
Ooh, that is elements in the ribbon spot. Fortunately, Simbu still does have that collection of claws at the ready, and has a fully equipped edge at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't have a spare fire claw for edge, but that's okay.
Interesting choice. While the fire claw hits are going to be significant against the first phase here, against Ruby, they are not going to be as effective.
Yeah, that is potentially very bad.
Yeah, I guess you can say that's from more than 4,000 damage to less than 700 in one hit.
Yeah, and well, Fire 2 isn't going to hurt a lot. If Fire 3 gets and Glare start coming out, that's going to be very sketchy for Simbu's party.
There's the Fire 3. This might hurt significantly. No one's dead.
No one's We're fine. Ruby phase, this is fine. Everything's fine.
Young is not doing much more damage against Turtle than he was against Ruby.
Yeah, losing that elemental weakness hurts a lot.
Yeah, we're still gonna get through this. It's just a little bit sticky right now.
Young is dead. The other party members have a combined 106 hit points.
Young is fine, so this is slightly less sketchy, but still incredibly sketchy. We are onto the battle phase now, though.
Oh, okay, we're fine.
Yeah.
Plus, Young got to swap over to Thunderclaw damage.
Yep. While as Simbu wraps up this fight, Gail Swift is now also on the moon. It'll be interesting to see Gail Swift, how Gail Swift chooses to pursue through these checks as well. And Simbu, is now through the elements fight and is about to pick up that 200,000 experience.
Not quite 200,000 here. The elements stole a lot of it.
Oh, true. And finds the hook as one of the items behind it. Just a white shirt for the other spot. That hook is necessary to let Gail turn in. Not to mention that is an objective.
Yeah, gets an objective and gets a required key item for another objective, so...
2-for-1 special.
Yep.
Gail Swift now finding Moon Edge. I think we'll also swap Edge in for someone here. Goodbye, Sid.
Yeah, this makes sense with Tala serving the anchor role in Gail Swift's party.
Yep.
We don't need Sid anymore.
Simbu taking the White Spear Altar and finds D-Nest. Oof.
We don't need to do that right now.
No, we don't.
There are perfectly good other checks on the moon that we can do.
Yes. Like the Masamune altar, apparently.
There's that one, or we could do one of the 2 required checks.
Yeah.
That we have to do. We can't fade those.
It could turn out that one of the other checks turned out to be required, but we don't know that yet. Gail Swift is electing to go top down here, and Simbu finds D-Lunars at the Masamune altar.
I like this play from Gail Swift. I like hitting up this Murasame altar first. You gotta do it anyway, may as well knock it out of the way now. Yeah. Gail Swift is lower on key items, so this is also a play to try to get towards 10 key items.
Yeah.
This Mom Bomb, not what you want to see though.
Yeah. It is punching pretty hard here.
Yeah, I would be very, very hesitant to do this at Battle Speed 1, which is where Gail Swift is. I would probably have stayed on a lower battle speed, at least for a little bit of this moon.
Yeah. With Tella down, this is going to be a little bit more difficult. And Simbu takes the wipe to the D-winners. With some unfortunate virus hits.
Yep, and Simbu says, nope, I'm not doing that fight either. We can just leave.
We can go and check the other required altar in this part of the dungeon.
Yeah, let's go over to the Crystal Sword altar. I gotta do that one.
Yeah. Right, we do see Gail Swift in a mostly stable state at this point. Having gotten those blinks up. We're just about at the point where we're going to see the explosion phase start to happen, I think. There it is.
Yeah, might want to get some heals up here. And oh hey, the Crystal Sword altar's free.
Yep.
It's just a plague, and with how many cursed rings we've seen, you're hard pressed to not have an RA1 set up at this point.
Yep. Berserk everyone, and you literally cannot lose the fight. And we do see the mini bombs on Gail Swift's side.
Yeah, these guys have a decent amount of hit points. I would have tossed an hourglass here. Because this is sketchy.
This is very sketchy, and with pouring down, it's even sketchier now.
Yeah, I really don't like this situation that Gail Swift's in.
You might get through this.
Maybe.
No, we're not getting through this.
No, we're not. No. You gotta toss that hourglass there. You can stop the bombs. The little bombs can be stopped.
It moves through the fight and hilariously finds a vanilla crystal sword at this altar.
Amazing. That's the best vanilla. It's completely useless.
Well, it's worth 7.9 sirens, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, you can sell it, I guess, but...
Yeah, not that we've seen sirens for sale anywhere, but the sentiment stands.
Sirens may be in Cave Evelyn.
That's true.
We have not seen that shop check yet, because the hook was on the moon.
Interestingly enough, Simbu looks like he's going back for blood at one of, well, actually taking a siren first, speaking of sirens. But probably going back for blood at one of the lower altars, which is a curious play.
Yeah, I think just doesn't want to fade this along with all of the other things that Simbu has faded at this point. Left behind Twin Harp check and Mount Ordeals and Octomammoth Leviathan on the blue planet.
Well, we know that most of those are useless as it is, but Simbu doesn't know that.
Yeah, as Simbu, we don't know that Twin Harp is useless.
Yeah. Of that list, Twin Harp is the only one that we don't know the provenance of as yet.
I kind of want it to be.
Yes, absolutely.
But then Gail Swift is in a very bad position. If that harp is required. Unbeknownst to Simbu, Gail Swift is in a very bad position if that harp's required.
Yes.
Because Gail Swift is not doubling back for Baron Basement anytime soon.
Yeah. Gail Swift at this point is almost certainly going to continue to suffer through at least some of these moon checks.
Yeah, this looks like a much more stable Mom Bomb fight.
Yes.
Has Edge and Young zerked up with the proper weapons equipped. I think didn't have the proper weapons equipped last time to do maximum damage.
Right, Simbu back at the bottom of the moon at this point. Which of these two fights is he going to take?
Looks like D-Mist. He's decided that D-Mist is the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. And also getting to explosion phase. I think this time around that Gail Swift gets through this without seeing little bombs, and yes, that's exactly what happens.
Yep, gets through that without the little bombs. Not much experience from it at all, but that's not the point. Gets through the check. It's required. It's a Dragoon Lance. I guess that's cool. But no progression from that Murasame altar. So Gail Swift is going to just dive deeper.
Yeah. I mean, there would have been a point when Simbu would have been glad to see that Dragoon Lance, but Kane is no longer with that party either.
Hey, I mean, Edge can still throw it.
That's true.
It's more useful than the Crystal Sword.
That is also true. Turned into mist.
That is... Yep. This is the trouble with D-Mist on the moon. Is that it's D-Mist. On the moon.
It'll take a while to get through no matter where exactly it's sitting. So while we wait for Gail Swift to figure out what his next fight is going to be, and while we wait for Simbu to finish up this lengthy D-Mist fight, this is another excellent opportunity to shout out both of the Forerunners. Give them a follow if you haven't done so already, as well as Black Ice on the restream, and Ground Flyer pushing the buttons, and my co-commentator Xenocat. All very much worth, all very good people, all very much worth a follow.
Yep, and also shoutouts to Eskrun, sticking it in here with me.
That's
I want
me.
to echo that shout out to Black Guys in particular for this fantastic first seed from him.
Oh yes.
This is this is quite a seed to start with.
Alright, Gail Swift is heading up to the Crystal Sword altar to begin with. We'll be quite happy to find Plague sitting here.
Yeah, Gail Swift will be able to sweep through this plague pretty easily.
Moves through the D-Mist fight and finds the package.
Oh my, that D-Mist is required. We just need to find the rat tail, and then we're in go mode for Simbu.
Okay, Simbu, of course, is going to go back and take another attempt at that Masamune altar. It'll be interesting to see if Simbu likes to pick K value before leaving the moon, assuming that he gets through this fight.
Yeah, Simbu's in an interesting position. With essentially just these, we know that there's only 2 checks left that are required, or two checks left unknown on the moon, which are this Masa altar and Cape Bahamut. And the only other thing we don't know is the Twin Heart. And Simbu has left a lot of checks behind on the blue planet, so if neither of these pays off, Simbu might start sweating a little bit.
Yeah, if Simbu starts doing a lot of those... I mean, Simbu has picked up a lot of power from just having done the moon checks that he's done so far, so won't spend nearly as long doing some of the checks he's faded on the blue planet should he choose to go back to them. Should be necessary for
and
him
I
to
do
go
want
back
to
them.
emphasize that Simbu forging actually is making a huge difference. The difference between a Masa Ninja Edge and a Full Moon Ninja Edge is quite significant.
Yeah. I will take a moment to point out Gail Swift with the Berserkers on Plague N is showing that his party is too angry to die here.
Yes, Count cannot kill you if you have too many people who are fast and angry.
Alright, Gail Swift is through that fight, picks up the Vanilla Crystal Sword.
More importantly, gets the objective for completing that fight. And is now off to the next check on the moon.
Looks like Simbu is likely to mostly use Tier 3 as an offensive spell this time around, avoiding the physical hits which will result in the virus casts. Except for that one swing which eliminated a friendly lunar.
Yeah, I think at this point, now that there's only one left, it's mostly safe to go for some physical hits, because the D-Lunar will only use fire.
So, yeah, we're in a much better state here than we were at the first attempt.
Although Porum really needs to heal everyone. Like now.
Okay, well, Porum is healing everyone now, so we should be good now. Gail Swift electing to take the Demus fight. This is important because we know this is required.
Yep. Is probably looking to fish for extra key items, and will get paid out here.
Simbu's through the fight, picks up a spoon.
That's not what we're looking for, but appreciate the spirit.
Yeah. I'm looking to keep that and the experience that goes along with it. We can at least use the spoon as a dart at this point.
Yeah, and that experience is very valuable since neither of our runners have really done a dedicated grind.
It's interesting that Heal cast almost certainly suggests, Cure Forecast rather, almost certainly suggests that Simbu is planning on going into the cave value check.
Well, Simbu has to do the Murasame altar.
That too, Simbu is going to be doing that first.
So yeah, I think we do the Murasame altar first because it is an objective.
Yes,
it has to be done. So Simbu's gonna go do that.
Yeah,
go take care of that objective, light it up.
Yeah, I forgot that Simbu hadn't done that yet, but you are of course correct. Simbu has not done the Murasame altar yet. I think we're going to see the power of what I call the moon grind here. Simbu should have considerably less difficulty with this fight than Gail Swift did, just from having done the rest of the subterranean checks and having that much more power to bring to the fight.
Yeah, and Simbu also getting to this moon with 10 key items was a big difference maker, whereas Gail Swift has been doing the entire moon with only 8 key items.
Yeah, well, he also will be picking up a 9 key item here in a moment anyway.
And I guess if Gail Swift really wants to commit to getting a 10 key item bonus from Ribbon Room, could do the Masa altar and get that spoon for a 10th.
Yep. Certainly a possibility. Great. Simbu enters the Mom Bomb fight. Just brings up the wine immediately. Likes to dart the spoon at Mom Bomb.
Yeah, I don't hate it. This is probably one of the rudest spots that Simbu has left to fight.
Yep. And Simbu also knows that some of the other rude hit point sync bosses like CPU are already out of the pool. Especially with Giant not required this time around, he's not going to have much else to throw that at.
Yeah.
So Simbu is through that fight, gets to complete the objective. It's a replacement dart, so to speak. Alright, now back to what I was saying earlier about is Simbu likely to do the cave value check before leaving the moon? Stay tuned, we'll find out in just a moment.
I think with no progression items having appeared on the moon, cave value is still very tempting.
Okay, that save suggests that Simbu is planning to scum something.
Interesting, because nothing... I don't know. I feel like with nothing coming from the moon, I'd be hesitant to just go back, but...
Right.
I also don't completely hate this. I mean, Simbu could find something in Sealed Cave. Right, that's another check that no one has done yet. We can scum Sealed Cave.
We are looking for exactly the rat tail at this point, and we've got, while you can get to the cave value check fairly quickly from where you are on the moon right now. Ooh. Simbu is going back to Ordeals.
We know this isn't required, but Simbu should be able to tear through that back attack Valvalis at this point.
Yeah.
Compared to Gail Swift, who had a very slow fight early on.
This fight is going to end in 1 or 2 hits.
Yeah, it turns out Val's physical evade just doesn't do anything at high levels.
Yeah.
Because she can only actually evade the first 4 multipliers. And after that, she's just powerless. So every multiplier you have past 4 is just good.
Yeah. Okay. Gail Swift is the Demon's Fighter has picked up the package. Is saving again. Now, which of these 2 checks is Gail Swift going to take at this point?
Gail Swift, it looks like, is just headed right into the ribbon room.
Yeah.
This is also double. This is required. So gotta do this.
It's a little bit unfortunate that you're doing this without having the 10 key items.
Yeah, it's actually, because of the element split here, worth about the same amount of experience as the Ogopogo altar. So Gail Swift is actually not missing out on much experience.
Yeah. And hello Val, goodbye Val. That fight was over before it started. I think we're going to see Simbu reset here once he realizes that this isn't anything useful. We'll actually get to see what it is this time. Just lightsaber.
It was a lightsaber. Yeah, no, we don't want that. That is not even remotely useful.
Simbu is now heading to Sealed Cave from the looks of it.
Yep, this is a new check, so this could be what he needs.
It's relatively slow, so I think, again, if we don't see the item be something useful, we're going to see a reset out of this.
Yeah, at that point, Simbu will have, I think, Cape Bahamut, Octo, and Harp left? After this sealed cave check?
Yeah. Which I suppose makes the most interesting thing that you might not want to find here be the pink tail. Do you bother keeping that despite the time investment or not?
Yeah, I don't think the pink tail is worth it, even though the adamant armor is really nice. I think at this point it's a little bit late for the adamant to make that big of a difference.
Yeah, Simbu already has the power from having done the moon grind at this point. Ooh,
yeah, especially if this
point.
boss is sort of rude. It just becomes no, I don't need that adamant armor that badly.
Just flying right past that save point. So now the worst case scenario here is that this is exactly the rat tail.
I think Gail Swift does have 10 key items, because that was definitely a 10 key item bonus from that experience there. I think the key item that's not tracked is the Luca key, because that was back on the blue planet. And oh, Simbu, no, well, Simbu is going to go take on that Octomem that we know has nothing.
Yeah, after having just found a Charm Rod in Sealed Cave, which is a zonk. So that pretty much tells us for sure that the 2 tails are in Cave Value and in Cave Manganese.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
A tale of 2 tails, if you will.
Yeah. In the 2 caves.
Yep.
Where else would you find tails? I don't know. It seems logical to me. Tails come from caves.
Okay, here goes Gail Swift into the Masamune altar fight, and Simbu is preparing to take on Octomammoth. Alright, it looks like, okay, Gail Swift is putting some blinks up right here.
Yeah. Simbu is just tearing through this Octomammoth with 2 Thunderclaws.
Yeah, the power of the moon grind.
Yeah, that and just having two Thunderclaws so that Yang and Edge can both do extra damage is real powerful.
I remember how he was saying, you know, an hour and a half ago or thereabouts, that sometimes sometimes you want to take Yang from Hobbs all the way through to the end of the seed. You're seeing exactly why that happens now.
No, this is why you take Yang through to the end of the seed. This exact situation, you just have now a superpowered Yang, who's only getting stronger with every level up.
There's the fight done. There's the bandana. There's the reset.
Yeah, we don't need a bandana. And Simbu back on the overworld now.
It looks like Simbu is going to go for the People's Choice and check the harp by means of the Slug Chocobo.
I appreciate this. I love this play. I am very happy. Very happy about this decision.
Alright, now, if this is the pink tail, do you still keep it? It's slightly faster to get back out from here than it is from CLK.
I mean...
But I also, at this point in the seed, don't think that that's worth the time.
No, I don't think so.
So, well, we'll see which tail we get here today. And we have frogs on Gail Swift's side, which makes perfect sense for this, for the slightly lower powered party.
Yeah, Gail Swift setting up the frogs just to make this fight completely free.
Question, how do people reset so fast? I mean, if you're playing on console, you can just hit the reset button on the console, but most emulators, you can bind a hotkey to reset that quickly.
Yeah, it's usually not too bad to reset quickly.
Yeah. Alright, but we see Simbu in the first cinematic Dark Elf fight, breaking in some kamikazes just to eliminate the party and get through this. And so now we bring you the latest performance by DJ Swoony D on the Harp Virtuoso du jour.
Yeah, we'll see what song of the a little over 400 songs that are in this version our bard will grace us with tonight.
Today we've learned that Cave Magnus is connected to a castle that can vary underground, it seems. So that's the rat tail. Simbu is now in go mode.
Yeah, that is go mode for Simbu. And unfortunately that is not a pleasant cave Bahamut. Oh god. We found Pain Man.
A very painful DKC, putting the pain into Pain Man in cave value. We know that this is the pink tail on Gail Swift's side.
Well, we don't actually, because the pink tail could be behind the rat tail.
That is true. Yeah, the pink tail has a 50% chance of being behind what Gail Swift is fighting. But Simbu in go mode goes to turn in the package. That's Rosa, in this
I
village.
don't think we care at this point.
We don't.
White Mage, how could you? You were my favorite character from Final Fantasy IV: The After Years. Oh well. I guess Black Mage will have to be my favorite character now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simbu is in a commanding lead at this point.
Yeah.
Gail Swift has to go back to Baron Basement to do Super Cannon to get that harp.
Whereas Simbu is just a couple of cutscenes away from finishing up.
Yeah. And Simbu might even get an Adamant Armor off of this Rat Tail trade-in, because it could lead to the Pink Tail, whereas... Yeah, Gail Swift just now getting through this DKC. What happened that put Simbu so far in the lead? A lot of it was a slow Val fight early on Mount Ordeals that Gail Swift sat through. Some unfortunate wipes that were taken. There is the Pink Tail in Cave Bahamut, so Simbu getting denied the Adamant Armor. And then also, yeah, Gail Swift not choosing to fade that CPU location, which ended up being required.
There's the Rat Tail turn-in, and Simbu is the first of our runners tonight to pick up the Crystal.
Yep, that is Simbu officially with all objectives complete, ready to head to Zeromus with an Odin summon. Thanks.
I'm sure that'll come in tremendously handy for the final fight here.
Yeah, didn't you know if you get Odin after you get the crystal, it actually works on Zeromus, and you can totally just bring a base level Rydia and summon Odin, and it will kill Zeromus definitely, 100%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hear you can stop Zeromus and get a proc from an Assassin Dagger.
Oh yeah, that well.
Not that we have one of those right now, but it's the Sentinel that counts.
Yep. But yeah, I think there's a question that we're supposed to be asking at this point.
I'm starting to I'm starting to see these flags in chat, and I'm beginning to wonder what it is pretty late right now.
Yeah, I am kind of tired. I think it's bedtime.
Yeah, it's not quite bedtime for runners because they still have this one last final fight to get through on Simbu's side, and so this is a randomizer. We can't exactly move the final boss somewhere just because of the the unique patterns of the overall level of difficulty. But we still want to randomize the Zeromus fight somehow. So instead, we give Zeromus one of more than 550, I believe at this point. Random appearances to get through. And so with that, we have just one question we like to ask right at the end of the scene. And Xenocat, would you like to do the honors this time?
Whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
Well, I said one question, but there's many others to go along with it. Is butt cute? Does the butt have a hat? Is the hat cute?
I mean, I feel like I have to say this butt is cute because it's Sephiroth.
But butt does not have a hat.
No, butt does not have a hat, unfortunately.
Alright, Simbu has 3 Berserkers here. This is going to be a fairly textbook fight. We've certainly got the damage to got the initial nerf coming out with the Salt Web to also slow down Zeromus.
Look, chat. Sephiroth does not need to be shirtless to be cute. Yes, shirtless Sephiroth is cute.
Yeah.
Sephiroth can also still be cute with a shirt.
there's the first nerf to Big Bang. With the amount of damage we're putting out, I wonder if we're going to get as far as the second Big Bang.
I think we will.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, I don't think we quite have the damage output from Simbu here to skip that second Big Bang.
But in any case, at the very least, Yang has enough health to survive even a fully powered Big Bang. Sid and Edge here probably have a fairly good chance of that as well.
Yeah, I think Porum has some decent gear, so she might actually be able to dodge enough rolls to keep herself alive.
Yeah. Keep coming out, just to be 100% sure, I suppose. Coming out of 8 here for an interesting one. I think we just hit the face, yep.
Yeah, I think we've tipped over into the HP refill. That I don't think we're gonna see. I think we are gonna see another Big Bang before Meteor phase, but
we might. This might end up with a Big Bang into Meteor. We probably still get through the fight even if that happens just on Yang alone. But
yeah, Yang is pretty beefy.
Right, there's the second Big Bang. Should see everyone here possibly.
That real slow inventory scrolling.
Even Porum works here. Barely, but Porum does.
She's fine! Porum is fine.
We should be through the Warzone. That's a black hole. That's interesting. Damage isn't coming out quite fast enough to have avoided that. So I'm not going to be surprised if the next action we see from Z here is a Meteor.
Yeah. There's the direct nuke.
Unfortunately, it hit someone who can take that.
Yeah, we're not quite done yet.
At this point, having gotten some of the berserks back, it's basically just put the controller down.
Yeah, we should be coming up on rocks, and there they are. I would like to say, meanwhile, Gail Swift has found the path to go mode.
There it is, the correct boom. Simbu has won the race, taking first place in this first matchup. In this second matchup, evening out the series for one game 3 for our runners. We are going to game 3 in this series. The finishing time of 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 39 seconds. GG's to Simbu.
Yep, GG's. And it does look like Gail Swift has forfeited out of this race. Understandable. I mean, knows the path to go mode. We'll see. Yeah. I think this hesitation here is a forfeit. We will. Simbu has declined the interview, but we'll see about getting Gail Swift in here to talk with us a little bit about the seed. Oh, Gail Swift's still moving. No, stopped.
And that, I believe we are joined by Gail Swift. Well played, Gail Swift.
No, thank you.
Yeah, GG's on what ended up just being, unfortunately, not the correct route for this seed. But honestly, pretty well executed, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the multiple wipes, I enjoyed the run. I think I still stick by my decision to fade that CPU in the Baron basement.
Absolutely, that's a disgusting fight.
Yeah.
But completely understandable.
I think, yeah, obviously there was a couple issues I had with the Mur Altar and the Bahamut Cave, but overall, I think it could have gone a lot worse. I think I was really happy with that Yang because, like, Yang rarely gets to get so many cat claws and a power shirt, so it was really nice to see that on the party.
Yeah, you had enough there to equip 2 Yongs, really, if you'd wanted to. But speaking of disgusting fights, the main thing that's on my mind after having seen that is, so you're climbing Mount Ordeals with Tella in tow, presumably for the sake of powering up Tella, and you find Val in the back attack spot. That's not a particularly easy fight to get through there. And so I've been wondering why take the time, because that did take quite some time on your part to get through that fight at the point where you took it to continue through that then there.
For sure. The main reason was I knew it was going to be definitely slow. Primarily, I wanted telespells, and I didn't want. I was hoping there was going to be a key item there. Obviously, it was not anything worthwhile. But mostly it's because of telespells, and then the key item check because it was a K main check. And the cost of like resetting and running back down or coming back later, it's one of those things. I was there and like I didn't want to think about it too much, and I kind of committed, so I was just going to go for it.
I mean, to be fair, if that had been required instead of the CPU at Baron Basement, you absolutely take this race.
Yeah, I talked to Simbu a little bit. It seems like he faded that pretty long because of how rude it was. So.
Oh yeah, no, he noped out and did not come back until after clearing everything on the moon but Cape Bahamut.
Yeah, and sometimes, because I know Simbu is a really good racer, he's a stronger racer than I am, so I kind of also wanted to make sure that if I was going to take a gamble, it wasn't like a huge gamble, it was just going to be slow, but I was like, okay, well, my opponent might not take this fight, so if it pays off for me, I'll be a little bit ahead.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it did not pay off with just a lightsaber, not even being like a useful item.
Yeah, it was a little bit of money, but that's how it goes. I think when I raced Simbu the first race, I kind of won on taking a little bit of a gamble as well, like just doing a few checks that he faded. So I think I'm going to continue to do that as much as I can where it makes sense and hope that it pays off. I mean, I was also hoping that the Fey March bosses would pay off because I believe I did both of them before he did as well, but it was just so...
He did Bahamut very, very early. He did that on the very initial dip with just throwing up some veils and just sitting there and letting Bahamut Mega Nuke itself to death, but you were definitely first through Octomam.
Yeah, and it was one of those situations where it didn't pay off, but it's okay. Like, and that coupled with the other wipes, I knew that it was very likely that Simbu was going to be ahead by that point. So I was just kind of waiting for the dot done in the channel.
Yeah, fortunately for you, Simbu ended up doing everything else on the blue planet before going back for Harp, because he did the CPU. He chased that tower key, got the twin harp from the tower key, and then faded the twin harp to go to the moon.
Oh, I see. Wow. Yeah, I think I do wonder if I hadn't wiped to the DKC and the Bomb and also the Wyvern leading into the Odin, how much time I would have saved. But at the same time, I don't...
Yeah, it would have made things closer, but I'm not sure it would have necessarily been the entire difference.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're looking for, is a really, really interesting seed, and I think it's really, this flag set's really great because you can see runners run them very differently, and I think it kind of shows maybe some of our styles a little bit more.
Yeah, it was definitely a really interesting seed to watch, and a pleasure to see you run it. Even with those wipes, I think you did really well.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Escrunt, do you have any other questions?
No, I think I've got the major things off my mind at this point.
Okay. Any final thoughts then, Gail Swift, before we let you go?
No, I think we have one more match, and I believe we're going to try to schedule that for Friday, so we'll see who can come out on top then.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it. I do want to really quickly give a shout out to our matches on Restream for tomorrow. At least we do have one match at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. on the main Free Enterprise channel, Plumeria Knight versus Moonblaze Wolf is coming up then. That might be it, actually, for tomorrow. Tomorrow is not a popular day. No one wants to schedule matches on Thursday. That's okay. There are plenty of matches to see on Friday, though. We have so many races on Friday. So tomorrow's a little bit of a light day with just one race, but Friday is going to be a hype day full of lots of Free Enterprise action. But until then, I think we're just going to do a straight sign-off because it is late.
Yeah.
I would like to go to bed.
Yeah, I do want to take one last opportunity to thank both of our runners for the wonderful race you just saw tonight. Our restreamer Black Ice, who did a wonderful job on his very first restream, so give him a warm welcome for handling that with success. Our tracker Groundflyer, and of course my co-commentator Xenocat. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Yep, and thank you for being here tonight with me, S-Grunt, for this amazing or fantastic race. And
if you haven't already, our Discord is both a wonderful community to hang out in and a great place to get updates on our future races in the Adamant Cup.
Yeah, so go ahead and check that out. If you want any more information, we have a calendar as well, which is in the chat as well, which will tell you when everything is happening. So many good resources. But that will do it for us tonight. So
once again, thank you very much for watching, and have yourselves all a wonderful night.
Yep. Good night, everyone.